Have you ever wondered if the world around you is truly as solid and fixed as it seems? What if I told you that the very act of looking at something fundamentally changes it, not in a philosophical sense, but in a way that scientists are still grappling with? Welcome to Quantum Every Day, where the deepest mysteries of the universe show up in the most ordinary places. For over a century, physicists have been puzzled by an experiment called the double-slit. When tiny particles, like electrons, are fired one by one at a barrier with two slits, they behave, well, strangely. If no one's watching which slit they go through, they act like waves, passing through both slits at once and creating an interference pattern on a screen behind, like ripples in a pond. But here's the impossible part. If you put a detector at the slits to see which one each particle goes through, they suddenly act like tiny bullets, going through one slit or the other, and the wave pattern vanishes. The act of observing forces them to choose a path. Sounds like subatomic magic, right? But what if we could see a version of this with something as simple as water? Watch this. Here are water waves, passing through two slits, creating a beautiful interference pattern. This is clear evidence of wave behavior. Now, let's observe which slit a wave wants to use. I'm not changing the wave generator, just interacting very gently at one slit as the wave arrives, and look. The distinct interference pattern changes. By interacting at one point, the wave's behavior shifts. It's no longer exploring all possibilities equally. This observer effect isn't confined to labs or water trays. Think about your life. When you approach a situation with a fixed expectation, a form of observation, how often does it unfold exactly as you expected, limiting other possibilities? When you approach a person with a prejudgment, how does that observation shape their response to you? Creativity often thrives when we suspend focused observation, allowing possibilities to remain in a wave state of potential. Brainstorming, for example, is about letting ideas interfere and combine without prematurely collapsing them with judgment. Here's your quantum everyday practice. Possibility gazing. Once a day, pick an ordinary object. For just 60 seconds, try to observe it without your usual labels or assumptions. Imagine all its potential states, its history, its connections. Don't try to understand it. Simply perceive its field of possibilities before your mind collapses it into just a cup. The profound implication? You are not a passive bystander in your reality. Your awareness, your attention, your very act of observation is a creative force. What you focus on, you influence. What you measure, you manifest in a particular way. This doesn't mean you control everything, but it does mean you are far more powerful in shaping your experience than you've been taught. Artists often intuitively understand this. The way an artist observes a canvas isn't just seeing, it's an act of co-creation, bringing forth form from infinite potential. Much like the artworks at ABC Visuals Net seem to capture a particular observer moment in the quantum field. So the double-slit surprise isn't just about particles. It's about perception, potential, and your power as a conscious observer. This week, practice possibility gazing. Notice how your observation doesn't just see the world, it participates in its becoming. The universe is waiting for your attention. What reality will you co-create today? Join us next time for entanglement. Until then, observe wondrously.